Today I'm going to show you how you can scrape your competitors' YouTube channels and the comments that their viewers are commenting on their videos, and then identify pain points and things their viewers are requesting that that channel owner makes a video on. And we do this all by AI and bright data. So this is what it looks like here. We have the first trigger. This trigger scrapes the competitors' YouTube channels, your YouTube channels that you choose. Then we go on, we wait for that scraper to complete, and then we scrape the comments to each one of their videos that they have posted within the last 7 days. This automation is scheduled to trigger every 7 days and will scrape only their latest comments and only their latest video posts. And then finally, what we do is we, after scraping the comments, we analyze every single comment, or as many comments as you want. You can limit them, and we use AI to identify the pain points, to identify the requests that their viewers are asking for. And this can be extremely powerful in never running out of content ideas. This is what the Google Sheet looks like. All of the ideas are put into a Google Sheet. You can add as many as you want. Here is the idea that OpenAI, ChatGPT, AI, whatever you call it, comes up to, whatever you want to call it. And then we have the source, the actual comment is given here, and then we get the YouTube video itself so we can look at it. And you can do this for as many YouTube channels as you want. It's powered by OpenAI, Make.com, and Bright Data. So if this sounds like something you'll be interested in, then be sure to stick around. Okay, I've created this quick checklist to give me a rough outline on how I'm going to build this and things I want to achieve within this automation. So basically what I want to do is I want to scrape YouTube videos and then scrape the YouTube comments to those videos from specific channels that I select. Right, and then after that, what I want to do is I want to be able to identify pain points or opportunities for video ideas using AI from the YouTube comments. So I want to retrieve the YouTube comments, and then I want to feed those comments into AI to see if there's any comments asking about things they want the channel owner to do. So for me, in the automation space, I see a lot of comments from a variety of different automation channels saying, hey, can you build this? Or can you build this? Or hey, I couldn't figure out how you could do this. I had an issue here, and things like that. This comes up quite often in the automation industry in particular, so I thought this could be a relevant video and would be a relevant video and something I would definitely personally use for coming up with ideas. And then finally putting those ideas into a Google Sheet. So this is a very rough outline. I might add some things here and there, add some functionalities, but this is the general gist of what I'm trying to build out today. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is head into Bright Data. Again, testing around with Bright Data. And then I want to go into web scrapers and then go to the youtube.com scraper. Let's see what the scrapers we have here. So we have video posts, collects by URL. No, I want to look for the discover ones because these seem to be the ones where I can scrape multiple different posts or multiple different things from a simple URL, whereas a collect by seems to just be one item. So for example, this YouTube videos post collect by URL will likely be, you'll only be able to collect comments collect comments to one YouTube video and not multiple. So I'm looking for video posts. I think first I want to scrape video posts from a channel. I guess I would use this one. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to do no code scraper to test this within here first to make sure that I'm providing the correct inputs. So the URL, this is the channel name, the number of posts, the number of YouTube videos in this case, is going to be 1, just for the testing purposes. I don't need any more than that. The URL, so that's a channel url.com. I'll use my channel. Let's go back here, paste that in there. I shouldn't need to limit the output because I've limited the number of posts to 1. Sort by latest. Yeah, I want to sort by latest. definitely. And then looks like you can get a transcript over here, but it's not rendering, which is a bit annoying. But you can just see it on the bottom right there. But I don't need a transcript. Although that could be interesting for another idea. I've seen many different people use like YouTube transcripts, transcripting other people's YouTube videos to identify gaps to create videos for yourself and video ideas for yourself. This is a different approach by instead of using the transcript of the video, actually taking the users and the real people's feedback to create ideas for videos. Rather than using AI to kind of identify the problems themselves from the YouTube transcript. You could also perhaps provide the YouTube transcript along with the comments. That could be an interesting idea, but that could end up being and taking up a lot of tokens in OpenAI. And I think providing just the comments will be sufficient enough, but you could create, and it'll definitely be possible, a pretty robust system where you transcribe the YouTube video and scrape the comments. I'm not sure the benefit, what the benefit would be there. Perhaps providing the AI with more context, but we could provide the AI anyway with the title, the description to the YouTube video, and things like that. So I'm going to download this as a CSV to see the data that I'm actually getting. I'm going to open this. Okay, so we got a YouTube video here. Let's open this up. Have been filtered. Okay, so we got the build and sell. Yes, that is my latest one. That was me testing out Cursor. Okay, so we got the title. Okay, what happened there? Let's open this back up. And there we go. So we've got the title, the ID, the URL. We've got the video length. I'm guessing that's in seconds, not minutes. Likes, the views, date posted, and the description. So we could feed this description into AI perhaps. It might confuse it a little bit though, depending on what channel it is. Number of comments, and we've got all this different information that we can use to feed into AI. Let's see, we have quite a bit of data actually. We do have a transcript, interesting. Although that transcript looks a little bit small. Unless there's more, no. Yeah, unless it goes further down the right hand side. Maybe it does, you can see it carries on. Recommended chapters. Okay, so we get quite a good amount of information here. And then we could use this YouTube URL here to scrape the comments. So this is good. This is good. Let me also delete all of this. Okay. So this is good data. So what are we looking for? YouTube video post discovered by URL. So let's search in youtube.com. Let's go here and then discover by URL. The scraper API this time. And then API request builder. This one is a little bit bigger. The limit per output is that in here. We've got a time period. I'm just looking at the options we have here as well. Since webhook. Okay, let me zoom in here. So we've got authorization. I can already start adding this in. So if we head into make.com, add a new scenario. Go to Bright Data. Down to make an API call. The URL I'm going to leave blank for now. I'm going to add another header called authorization. It's going to be bearer. And then it's going to be this access token. So this is going to be your access token as well. Fortunately, Bright Data provides it right here. So we don't have to go to another the settings page to get our API key, which is nice and convenient. Content type application JSON. It's already that. As you can see here, content type application JSON. It's like that by default. Make.com puts that in there. And then everything in the square brackets, Where's the last square bracket? Down to here, this last square bracket is JSON. This is what we put in the body. So I'm going to ask, or maybe formatter. I'm pretty sure there's a JSON formatter. Maybe this. Let's look around a little bit. I'm sure there's, yes, this is the one. And you click beautify, I'm pretty sure. Format beautify. There's a passing error. Okay. I was hoping this would work, but let's just go into the trusty old ChatGPT. Make it look better, JSON. Nice English. Okay, here we go. So this just makes it more clear for me to understand. And then what I'm going to do down here in the body is paste this directly and see what I do and don't want. So, first of all, I only want one, right? I don't need all of these. So I'm just going to add one. So we've got the URL. This is the channel URL. Number of posts is already in here. The start date and the end date we can map dynamically to being something like, I think, no more than 6 days old, because I'm thinking about if we run this once a week, we don't want to re-scrape videos that we've already scraped. And if we scrape it on day 7, if we scrape it each Monday, then the next Monday we scrape it, we would have to scrape the last 6 days for it to scrape from Tuesday to Monday instead of Monday to Monday. Is it 7 days? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Yes, 6 days. Sunday, Monday. Oh no, 7 days. Okay, that's my bad. 7 days, yes. So the last 7 days. If we run it each Monday, then we would want to fetch the last 7 days of videos. And we could add multiple different channels in here as well. So all the possible channels that you would want to scrape could go right in here. And so because I want to scrape only the latest, I think I'll do this now. The start date is, I'm actually going to leave it blank because my last one was 8 days ago. I might just use another one. I'll do that later. I'll do start and end date later. But the end date, I actually won't do the end date later. I'll do the end date now. I'll do now. And what format was this in? It was year, month, and then day. So year, month, and day. So I'm going to format date, go now. It's year. Then what month, and then day. So this should be okay. And then the start date, I'm going to leave blank for now. The number of posts, I'm just going to do one. Order latest. So it was latest, popular, or something else. I forgot what it was. Within that no-code builder, we selected an option. Time period 1 year ago. I don't think I want that. I might delete this altogether, or I'll just leave this blank for now. Country, don't need. Transcript language. English, although we don't really need the transcript language because we're not going to be using the transcript, but hey, may as well double check. Although I don't know if that'll be correct, so I might actually delete that for now. And then I'm going to add the channel URL right here. And now let's see if there's anything else we will need. This JSON looks all okay. We need the URL. Now the URL is right here. So if we copy this paste it right there. And then in make.com, we don't need this first part here. You can see here, enter the path relative to this. For example, /request. So you go /dataset trigger, you don't add the first part. And then the dataset ID, it's already in there. Include errors, yes. Type, discover new, discover by URL. So back in Bright Data, it's a bit messy, I think. It took me a bit to get used to. But basically, they provide the headers first, then they provide the JSON in the middle, wherever the square bracket here starts, and wherever the square bracket ends, right here, is the JSON that we just copied, so that's all that. And this is example JSON. And then they provide the request URL for the HTTP request at the bottom, so yeah. Personally, I would probably format it a different way, but hey, the data's all here. And yeah, even if, like, for example, I'm gonna run this, but for example, in NA10, you can import curl into HTTP requests. So what you can do in NA10, I might have already showed you guys this, but you can copy this. You can copy this curl because it's curl. You can copy this directly into an HTTP request, and then it will automatically map out these values, or automatically map out all of this, right? Which is pretty helpful. So I've run this. It should have given us a snapshot ID. This is basically like a database ID where we can retrieve all of the data. We can see here it's running, and it should scrape one post. And it should scrape the latest post also, because if we go on here, we've set latest. We've set the end date to today, number of posts to 1, the channel URL, and we've left all these blank. So fingers crossed we get the data we're looking for. And then basically what I want to do is, in the meantime, while this runs, it's already succeeded, which is good. Now what I want to do is I want to download snapshot content. Is that what it's called? Yeah, snapshot content. We need to map the snapshot ID. We're going to format it as JSON, I think. And then the batch size, 1000, part 1. And I'll just keep it at that for now. You know, it's really annoying. Pinning data. You cannot pin data in make.com. I mean, it's just different. It's a really, really helpful feature, though. Make.com should definitely... and you cannot copy this. You have to go on here. Make.com should definitely add that feature. I cannot even count how many times I use that in NA10. I pin data so much. Pinning data just basically means you can reuse data over and over again from nodes or modules that you run. So for example, I ran this with a little bubble. It would be good if I could like pin all of this data so I can reuse this data over and over again instead of having to run it each time. And then I have to create a set variable module, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just a bit more friction that is involved. Snapshot not found. Download snapshot content. Okay, it might not be found because it's not processed yet. If we go here, although I would have thought it would be processed, because it has to process a little bit before you can download it. But let me see if you can download this, which you can. I now want to delete that. Show and finder. Let me run this again. Operation failed with an error. Snapshot not found. Huh. What if I hard code this? Because we have the snapshot ID right here. Are these the same? Let me check. Within here, are these the same? They're not the same. Huh. So this should be right. That's weird. It's got a different snapshot ID. Snapshot ID not found. This is really odd. This should work. Snapshot ID is right here. Huh. Let's try to figure this out. We've hard coded it right here. There's no reason this shouldn't work. Web unlocker. Get snapshot metadata. Get a snapshot part. Huh. Maybe I'll make an API call and just do it myself. Because I'm not sure why this isn't working. This is the snapshot. What if we get this? Yeah, it's probably not. It's not going to download because the scraper is still running. There's probably 2 running now. If we refresh, I don't want them to be running. Okay, so there's only 1 running. Let's go to logs. Let's close this. There is 2 running. I'm going to click X on both of these to cancel. Okay, heading back to make.com. I think what I want to do is I want to be able to get the status. There's no built-in module for this, so I'm going to make another API call. I'm going to go bright data down to make an API call. And then what I want to be able to do is get the status. Is the scraper running or is it ready? Right, once it's ready, I want to be able to download the snapshot content. So get scraper status API bright data. Let's see. Bright data docs. Let's go here. I want to go to reference. API reference. Scrape SERP. Let's see. Get snapshot metadata. We don't want marketplace. Monitor get snapshots. Monitor delivery. Maybe that's it. It might be this one. Call returns the delivery status. I think it's this one. I think delivery status means the status in which this scraper is. So whether it's ready or if it's running or cancelled or whatever. I think this is the correct one. The delivery ID though. Is a delivery ID? What's the delivery ID? Do we get provided a delivery ID? Here? Date, server. There's only a snapshot ID. Delivery ID. What is a delivery ID in bright data? I think it might be. I think it might be the ID to the scraper itself. We can also ask here. There is no delivery ID attached here though, is there? Body. Unless that's it. I don't think that would be the delivery ID. Because there's no body. A delivery ID here. No, okay. Maybe this isn't the one. Although that would make sense, and I feel this might be it. Maybe batch data. What's this do? What's batch data do? Obtain your API key. I'm not sure what this does. I'm gonna pause for a second and figure out what one I need to use and then get back to you guys. Okay, so I've actually gone to NA10 because I knew they had a built-in node to see how to do this, and they only needed to provide the snapshot ID. And it looks like it's a monitor progress snapshot endpoint. So if I go here, monitor progress here, monitor progress, I've already gone into it, but I want to show you guys as well. It looks like it's this endpoint. So if I copy this, I should just be able to paste this into here. I tried another endpoint as well. Delete this first part again, and then add the snapshot ID from the first module. And then it should just be get. There shouldn't be anything else. Authorization. Let's add that. That's important. And then I can just get the authorization from here. Let's paste that in there. There we go. This should be okay now. Okay, let's run this. Okay, body running. Okay, so the status is running. If we go over to bright data, we can see the status is indeed running. I'm going to stop this because I don't want it to continue running. Click the X there. Let's head back here. Yes. So now I have to think of how, like, the best way to do this. Because you cannot loop around. And we have to wait a given period of time, which could end up being a while. Until the scraper is finished scraping. So need to think of the best way to approach this. So we're getting the progress. I think there's no point on getting the progress at the start because, you know, you could add perhaps here sleep delay must be 300 seconds. You can't even delay for that long. Like, how long is 300? 300 divided by 60 is 5 minutes. That's okay. That should be okay actually now I think of it, because if we head into bright data, where are we? Bright data. And then you go to, for example, LinkedIn, if we go no code, many of these scrapers take no longer than 3 minutes. Like this average response time per input is 45 seconds, right? And this input could, I was gonna say there could be multiple, but now I'm thinking this is add inputs with an S. This is 45 seconds per input. So let's see, does this take 45, 90 seconds, a minute 30? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna time it right now. What's it called? Clock. Stopwatch. Let's time how long this is gonna take. Let's see if it takes like around 45 seconds or if it takes around 90 seconds. If it takes around 90 seconds, then that could be an issue. Because in make.com you cannot loop back to node, so like you cannot loop back to nodes that have already been executed. So we'd have to figure out a way to be able to do this. Like you cannot loop this back to this node. Okay, let's go here. It's still running. Yeah, number of inputs. I think it means per input, and because there's 2 inputs here, it's going to take around 90 seconds. which is a bit unfortunate because then that would mean you could only have, like, for the sleep, depending on how long it even takes to scrape YouTube. How long does it actually take to scrape YouTube? I'll have to find that. I'll have to look at that after, because some take up to 3 minutes per input, right? So it can end up taking a little while. So I think actually something that could be interesting is to instead trigger this scenario. And then once this is finished scraping, I know that each time this or a scraper is finished scraping, you get sent an email. Right, so what we could do is add possibly a mail hook or something that basically watches our inbox for the specific sender that sends the email once a scraper has been finished, and watches for that incoming email, and then that triggers the next flow. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. And that will remove the need for any of this. Although I'm going to keep this because I'm going to add it into a new scenario. So I'm going to open a new tab here. And then I'm going to create a new scenario. I'm going to go ahead, copy this over because I want to check the status of the scraper. The snapshot ID, hopefully we get that. Hopefully we do get that. So I'm going to delete all this. This is going to be only for the trigger. We might have to make a few different scenarios here. Okay, so the trigger is going to be, I really want it to be a mail hook. So if you go into a mail hook, create mail hook, example, bright data, what do we call it? Bright data, YouTube, scraper. There we go. Then we get provided with this email address. So I have a few different ideas in mind that I could try. Okay, let's see. Is this finished? Ready? Oof, 3 minutes. Oh, we can see here. 2 minutes 43 seconds. Yeah, so that's too long. We cannot take that approach. So what we're instead going to do is, I think this is a good way to do it. And then I'm going to head over to my email. I don't believe there's anything. Put that there. This is all just bright data stuff. You can see here I have 16 notifications. Okay, so no reply. Whenever I get an email from this, I want to start the next flow. Yeah, I want to start the next flow. We could actually get, there's a few things I want to try. Scenarios. Perhaps maybe we could call a sub scenario. Wait for scenario output. Scenario. The new one. What's this called? No, this is just called new scenario. Okay, it's not there at the moment. How could we do this? We run the scraper. You know what we could do? We could have this be... I'm thinking we could add a sub-scenario node to trigger this flow. But then I was thinking, oh, you want this to be the first scenario because it kind of makes sense to be the first scenario. But then by making this a sub-scenario, we will be able to get the ID what do you call it? Where is it? We'll be able to get the snapshot ID, which could come in helpful. Because I think for reliability and making sure you're not wasting your operations, it could be good to check the progress to make sure it hasn't been cancelled or anything, and then resulting in a possible error of your flow. And for that, I'm thinking you have a main flow. Although I don't think it should be too bad because if it errored out, we could just add some error handling. I think that's overcomplicating it. I'm trying to figure out the simplest way to do this. I think I am going to keep this the same like that. Then, starts, because essentially all these are these sub scenarios, calling a sub scenario and starting a sub scenario. Essentially, all this is doing really is sending the webhook calls from one scenario to another. Essentially, they're just webhooks. Yes. So what's the best approach to do this? If we're sent an email from this email, can we forward this email to the mail hook? Let me search this up first. How to forward here emails in Gmail to a specified email address. Set up forwarding in your Gmail settings. Automatically forward Gmail to another account. Chat Gmail. Forwarding IMAP. Okay. Okay, let's see. If we go here, see your settings. Where's forwarding IMAP? We are going into, there it is. Then we are adding a forwarding email address, which would be this mail hook. Next, open the app on the phone. I'll get back to you guys in a second. And yeah, to get my phone. Okay, so unfortunately this isn't going to work because we have to verify the email. We can't really verify a webhook in make.com, so I'm just going to remove that. Which is a bit unfortunate. From subject including yeah. Maybe I just check in every now and then. You could check in every now and then. Like, I was thinking maybe you could add just a normal trigger because unfortunately within Gmail there's no webhook node. So for example, if you head into Gmail node, there's no webhook. There's only watch emails which have to be scheduled. Even if you head into the standard email module, there's also just the normal watch emails. Yeah, so what is the best way to do this? Can you set set and get what is the best way to do this? Because I think I do want to get the email. I think that will be the best way. Yes. So I'm gonna pause it again and just really try to figure out how to do this. Okay, so I think I've figured out how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do it using data stores. So here I'm actually going to say trigger write data YouTube scraper. I think I'm going to do it using data stores, and then I'm going to add or replace a record. I'm going to create a data store. I'm just going to leave it at that. Choose data structure. I'm going to add one. Then the specification, I'm going to say snapshot ID. Snapshot ID of scraper. So this is how we're going to be passing the snapshot ID between the two scenarios. And then I'm going to keep this all the same, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to click save there, click save again. Then under snapshot ID, I'm going to map the snapshot ID from the original Bright Data module and keep the key empty. Now, within the second scenario, wait for scraper to complete. Scrape comments of videos. That's what we're going to do after. And then in this trigger here, I'm going to add a data store. I'm going to search records, the my data store that we just created, and the filter is going to be if snapshot ID exists. And if it exists, then this flow is going to continue on. And I'm going to run this on at regular intervals. It's not as efficient as using something like a webhook, but it will have to do. And yes, so we're going to run this at regular intervals. And to show you the kind of data we get, if I run this, it's now going to add a key along with the snapshot ID to a data store. And now if we run this, we can see we've gotten that key. It should be the same as in here. 8F ends in E6, yeah? And we also get the snapshot ID. The place we can see this as well, we can see the data store that we've just created. Down here under more and data stores, we can see my data store along with that one snapshot ID that we've added. So now to talk between the two scenarios and add data between them, what I'm going to use is these data stores. And then if it does exist, if a snapshot ID exists, then what I want to do is progress / the snapshot ID to see the progress. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to run this. And then if the body and the status is running, then I'm just going to simply add a filter. And then this will run again at the regular interval. Check if there's a snapshot ID. If it is, then we're going to check the status again. And we're going to do this over and over again until the status here is not equal to running, but equal to ready. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to wait for this to finish scraping, which it looks like it has now. I'm going to actually refresh this to ensure I have the latest one. It looks like it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this again. It should not be equal to running. Yep, ready. And then I'm going to add another module. I'm going to do a write data. We're going to go down, make an API call. No, we're not making an API call. We are instead using the built-in download a snapshot content. The snapshot ID is right here. Then what we get is format JSON, I think. Let's try this again. Hopefully this works. 1000. Yeah. And then before I forget, I'm also going to do status is equal to ready. If it's not, then it won't pass through, and this will go back to the schedule. Scraper has finished running. Save that. Let's see if this works. Last time it didn't work. And it still doesn't work. I find this odd. I really do not know why this is not working. Because the snapshot ID is clearly there. Unless maybe it's something with the batch size. Maybe I removed the batch size. 404 is not found. Snapshot not found. But if we go to bright data, we go here. Let's close this logs. Snapshot ID is SM. 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 Where is it? SM. SM and ends in WX. Copy to clipboard. It ends in WX. This is the same ID, I think. Yeah. That's the same ID, so I'm really not sure why this isn't working, unless it's something wrong with the node itself, maybe? What if I leave the format empty and I really shave it back? This is odd. This is really odd. Because it's getting the snapshot ID right here. When if we rename this, check scraper status. When we check the scraper status, I'm thinking maybe I just using manual API call. Download snapshot content writes data and then see if this works. I might just do it manually. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. Oh, not that. I lost the filter, it's okay. Add module, write data, make an API call. The URL, let's see, what's the URL? It's a get. We have authorization header again. I'm gonna copy this URL, paste it into here, delete this first part. The ID is the snapshot ID, so that's right here. It's a get method, the header, we need the authorization header. And it's going to be the bearer. So if I go into the other scenario, let's copy this over, paste it into here, click save on that. Records, there's a record in there, there's 0 errors. I might have to get back to you guys on this. I'm unsure why this isn't working. For both, it's not working. This is really weird. Okay, I'm gonna get back to you guys to see if I can find the issue. But before I do that, I'm gonna try one more thing. No. I thought maybe because I looked here and it had snap at the start. But then in the response I had, it didn't have snap, it only had S. So yeah, I'm gonna try figure out what's happening and get back. Okay, so I figured out how to get the content that the scraper has scraped. And it turns out it was very easy. I just didn't know what I was doing. So if you head over to Bright Data, and then in the log section, so I'll go right out for you guys. So if you click on your scraper, in our case the YouTube video post discovered by URL scraper, and then you get taken to this page, if you go to Management APIs, if you go down here, you can see not delivery options, get snapshot list. Is this it? No. This is it, delivery options. And then you can download the snapshot, i.e. download the content that the scraper has scraped using the snapshot ID that we got and we were putting into the data store. And all you need to do is use this header right here. And then you just copy and paste that along with the header, the URL, sorry, and then the header, the authorization header, and just paste that into a make an API call. You can see here, that's the exact URL. I've mapped the snapshot ID from the data store. And then there's the authorization. So all you need is those two headers. Once you do that, you get a long array with all of the content, which is good. So now what I'm going to do quickly is, I was also testing around with some other things because I was really unsure. I took way too long doing this. Okay, here we go. But now since we know, it'll be nice and easy next time. Okay, so now what we can do is we're getting the contents to the YouTube, like 2 videos. I've limited it to 1. If we head back here, I believe it was a limit of 1. Yeah, number of posts is 1, which is all I want at the moment. So we have 1 array here with 1 collection. So what I think I want to do, because we want to get the comments, is I'll just find wherever the URL is here, the YouTube URL, and then I'm going to scrape the comments to that, video. So now what we could do is head into another scraper, another make an API call, where we scrape another, or we use another scraper. So if we head back to Bright Data, let's zoom out here. I'm going to go back to web scrapers, web scraper library, youtube.com. Why is that not available? There we go. Okay, so this one, YouTube comments collect by URL. I think that would be the one we should use. Oh, that's collect. Yeah, I still think that's the one because we're collecting by URL. I think I'm going to go straight to the API because I'm pretty confident I know what I'm doing this time. So let's go to API request builder. I'm going to delete one of these because I only want one URL at a time because I'm going to iterate through each video individually. And then, do we limit the results? Does that show up there? Is there a place where it limits the results here? I might say 5, see if that appears in here. Okay, anyway, here we are finding the JSON, just this little part here, and then we have the URL down there. And we're gonna say, you format this JSON, just to make it look a little better, so it can be a bit more readable. Let's head back, paste the JSON there. And this is where the URLs go. So if we head into this one, I believe, down under body, there's the URL. Let's map that there. I'm not sure what the sort by is. Maybe we have to see what that is. Or is that just sort by latest, I guess? Latest. Or could you do most popular? That could be interesting. We need a URL. The URL is at the bottom here. This is going to be a post. limit multiple results. There's the limit. So then we can choose the amount of comments we want. I'm going to give it 10. Include errors. Yes. Dataset ID. So the dataset ID again can be found in the URL. It's right here. Fortunately, Bright Data gives that to us. And hopefully, this is all we need to do. Do we need anything else? Send to webhook. I was playing around with this before and it wasn't sending to the make.com webhook. I'll get back to this. I might try this a little later because I think it could drastically improve the efficiency of this automation, especially at the start if we can send a webhook notification once the scraper has finished here to this scenario, because I think right now I'm going to do the same thing where I'm probably going to send another notification to another scenario. I think is the best way to do this because we're scraping comments off videos. Let's just do this and then I'm going to try figure out how we're going to approach this. So let's run this, I guess. Ah, yes, we have to remove the first part. So it's like that. Okay, let's do this. Now, it should be running. We get the snapshot ID. And web scrapers. It is running, which is good. Let's see how long this usually takes. Can we see? It doesn't matter too much. We'll see how long it takes anyway. So I'm thinking the best way to do this, do we do the same thing where we create a new scenario like we did when we used this to initiate the scraper? This was just me testing, so ignore this module. Yeah, do we do the same thing where we add it to a data store? I mean, that is something we could do possibly, but then it's like we have multiple different videos that a channel might have, so then it could mess up some of the not scraping, but the data that we process through AI. Because what I'm thinking is I really want to be able to scrape it all together, which we could do. We could do, because all I need is the URL. And then likely all I'd need to do again is just do that, I'd assume. And then add a new URL. Because if we iterate through multiple videos and then we run this more than once, it's going to initiate a scraper to run more than once, of course. And then when there are multiple scrapers running, they will have different snapshot IDs, so we cannot really identify. We cannot really identify which videos are meant to be together. Apart from the name, that could be a possibility. Because all YouTube names have to be different. Like the usernames or whatever. If you come in here, this @ has to be different for each channel. So we could identify by that perhaps. But then, say, how do we know once all of the channel's videos have been processed? Right, I think it could be better to process them all at once. Okay, it's finished. And now we're doing delivery options. I'm going to do this quickly because I want to see the data outputted. What is this one? I'll rename this download snapshot data from scraper. I'll clone this. The snapshot is this. I'm just going to copy this over and hard code it. Going to drag this in here. The snapshot ID is going to be that. I believe it should be the same as this one. No, I don't think it's the same. I'm just going to copy this. Snapshots. So this. Just copy that here. Maybe it is the same. Not sure. Okay. Ah, yes. I always forget to remove this first part. Let's see what we get. Can we expand this? There we go. Let's expand this. Building is not the hard part. 1 like. Okay, so we get likes, replies, username, channel, date. It's a bit annoying it doesn't provide the actual date, but I guess that's what it displays on YouTube. We get the URL, the video ID, we already have all of that, timestamp, input, sort by. Okay, so the main thing is we get this, and I think that's okay. What could we identify it by? Maybe like just the video ID you could store somewhere. Maybe the video ID could be stored somewhere. How could this work? Let's head back to this API. Let's put in multiple channels like there. Or multiple videos, I should say. Where's the JSON end? There's the last square bracket. And this. Let's see what this looks like. So you could add. What one is it? This one? Yeah. You could add multiple. But then you would have to format this. And I want to see what the sort by is. What's this sort by? Load replies. Sort by top comments, newest first. Okay, that's interesting. I guess you'll do top. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna leave it blank for now. How could we do this? Because we'd have to format this anyway. How could we do this? Okay, I'm gonna do a bit of thinking and get back to you. Okay, so I think I figured it out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna format the JSON in a way that I can map multiple different YouTube URLs in there. So I'm going to show you guys how we can do that. I might stop this run. And so in here, I've limited the number of posts to 2, so it's going to scrape 2 videos instead of 1. Also, what I'm going to do, no, I'd leave that for now. So I'm going to run this. It's going to go ahead and scrape, so this is exactly the same as before. If we head back in here, it's now scraping, and it should scrape 2 videos instead of 1. And then I'm going to use these 2 videos to demonstrate how we're going to be constructing the JSON string to go into here, down here. You can see I've changed it a bit from when I was testing before. There's going to be a variable that we simply put in here where this text variable is. And then that's going to be the entire JSON. It's going to consist of all of the video URLs so that we only have one scraper running. So we might have 10 videos, but then there will only be one scraper running, if that makes sense. So there'll only be one of these running instead of 10 of these running for 10 videos. So I think it'll drastically improve efficiency and also improve the ease of management of this automation a lot as well. So we'll just wait for this to finish, and then once that has been added to this data record, what I'm going to do is detach this because I don't want to scrape the comments yet. I'm going to rename this as well. Scrape YouTube comments. Because that's going to be at the end. Before this, I want to be able to format the JSON into valid JSON for this scraper. Okay, let's see where this is at. It might take a little longer because there is two videos. Although it does say number of inputs 1. Number of records, so there's 2, so that's good. Now let's run this, just so I can get that data. You can see here. That's what I did before, but I'm going to run you guys through step by step, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to build it out again. So here you can see there's 2 collections with the 2 videos. 2 videos right here. Then what I'm going to do is I need to iterate through these. So I need to go to an iterator, select this module, and then we're iterating through the entire body. So this is the array consisting of the 2 videos content. And then I'm going to add a set module, set or variable. And this is going to be set video content. And then, or set, yeah, I'll say that for now. And I'm going to set the URL. And then if we run this, we have 2 outputs, which is the 2 video URLs that we set. And now if we move this further back, we need to then format these videos into JSON. So we're going to add another set variable. Format URL to JSON. And to do that, I'm actually going to steal it from down here. It's this JSON. So you can see this is the exact JSON as before. So if we head back in here and we go head into the scraper itself, where are we? API requests. This JSON, let me clear this input, delete, is exactly the same as this JSON right here, wherever it stops, except this has a little bit more to it. And this is, yeah, this has a little bit more to it, but we're not adding start date or end date and things like that. We're only adding the YouTube URL, and I just realized I'm in the wrong scraper. So what I was saying is that JSON is exactly the same as this right here. If I copy this, paste it in here, you can see it's virtually the same. This is exactly the same as this, that Bright Data provides. And then in these 2 quotes, we just simply provide the YouTube URL, which is put here. Right, so these are exactly the same. Now if we run this, let me zoom out. If we run this, we get 2 outputs with 2 URLs covered and surrounded by that JSON format. Now we have to bring these JSON formats together. So the JSON formats and the URLs together. And the way we do that is by using a text aggregator module. Text aggregator. The source module is going to be the iterator. The reason for it being the iterator is because we can see here there's only 1 bubble, here there's 2. So if we made this tool or this tool the source module, the aggregator would run 2 times instead of once, and it wouldn't aggregate the 2 URLs together. But because the iterator only has 1 bubble here, this means that the text aggregator will only run once and it will aggregate both of the URLs together, the YouTube links. And then I'm simply going to paste in the JSON from before. I'm also going to show advanced settings, do the row separator by other, and then add a comma. And then you can see here, this all turned gray. And it turned gray up to this point because we made the source module this iterator. I'm also going to rename this. No, this, just so I know what's going on. And then bring JSON together. There we go. If we run this now, we can see there's one bubble here, there's not two, which is good. And then we have this JSON with a comma separator. So we added that comma separator, and here is the JSON. Now all we need to do to make this completely valid JSON is add square brackets around it, which we can do within the Scrape YouTube comments module. And we have done right here, these two square brackets. Now if we delete this, and then right in the middle here, all we need to do is add the text from the text aggregator node or module, and there we go. Now, I'll delete that from before. Now this will scrape the two YouTube videos and the comments within one scraper run. So if we head back to Bright Data here, go back to Web Scraper, we can see here it's running and only one is running. So it's scraping both of the YouTube videos comments at once. If we go over to logs, we can see the number of inputs are 2, meaning that there's 2 YouTube videos being scraped. So this is going to run away, and that is really the big thing. That's really what I wanted to figure out, and now I know that works. This can work for as many videos as you want. You can have 10, 100, whatever. This can be scalable in that way now, and this eases management 10 times. Okay. So now we are getting this data from the video, and then I think we trigger another scenario. I think that's the best way to do it. Yes, I think this is the best way to do it. And I think I'm going to add a data store here as well, a new data store this time. I'm going to add or replace. I'm going to add one, and this is going to be #2 scrape YT comments right data. Data structure is going to be let me save this for now because I actually want to see what our output is. I'll see if I can edit this. If I can't edit it, I will need to add another one. I just want to see. Okay, so we get a snapshot ID. So we're going to pass along the snapshot ID. Can I edit this now? It's taking me here. Can I edit it? Doesn't look like it. I'm just going to add another one. To bright data. Bright data. To structure, I'm going to add one. I'm going to name it this. Structure. Specification. Snapshot ID. YT comments. Bright data. Text. There we go. I'm going to save that. The key, well, the snapshot ID actually is going to be this from the YouTube comments scraper. Add snapshot ID to data store. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete a record from the original data store, from this one, that we added in here. So we're going to delete that snapshot ID. So if we go to the start here, we can map this key, and then it will delete that snapshot ID from that data store. Delete snapshot ID from video scraper. There we go. Okay, let's spread these out a little bit, like that. There we go. Now I might run this again. Let's see, has this finished? It has finished. It's got 14 records because I set the limit to 1 or 7 per input, 7 comments per input. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this so the snapshot ID gets deleted there and a snapshot ID is added here. And I think for that, no, I'll be okay. This should work. So let's run this. There we go. This should be running. I just want to confirm this one more time. We might have to refresh here. Yep, it's running. Let's go back here. Snapshot ID was added, and was this deleted? Yes, it looks like it was. We could also confirm it by going down to data store, but I'm pretty confident that was deleted because we're taking the ID straight from there. But if you wanted to check, you can just go more data stores and double check it's been deleted there. And now what I want to do is I'm going to add the exact same, create a new scenario. Data store search records module at the start here. So I'm going to go data store. I'm going to, was it search records? Yes, search records. The data structure is going to be, is it this one? It's not this one. I'm going to delete this one. Although something's been added here. No, this is the one. This one, isn't it? I just want to delete these because they're very similar. So it's this one. Let's delete. Okay. Let's go back here. Filter. I want to say this one. Filter snapshot YouTube comments ID exists. And I'll save that. And then if it exists, I want to, let's go back here. I'll steal some of this. I want to check the scraper status and then also download the snapshots. And also, when checking the status, I forgot to do this. Status is equal to ready. Status equals ready. Or should I say scraper has finished running. There we go. There we go. This can delete. Line this up. Now I think I'm going to get these two modules, paste it here, and then just basically replace them. Scraper has finished running. I'm going to keep that the same. Snapshot ID. So I'm going to run this. There should be a snapshot ID here. Record snapshot ID. Yes. Let's add that snapshot ID into here. Okay. Let's check scraper status. Here it is. It's ready now. Scraper has finished running. Let's do this. Snapshot ID. Take it from there. And now this should work. Let's see if we get the data. Body array. Ooh. So we got 14 comments and they're each in their own collection here. Let's see, what do we get here? Also start an agency, user channel. Okay, so this is good. We're getting all comments from the different videos, and this is what we want. And then we can feed this into AI now. And we can also, now I think of it, start checking off some of this. So we're scraping YouTube videos, we're scraping the comments, and now we're onto this stage here. This stage. Not this stage, this stage. Here we go. Okay. Let me rename this. Get comments personalized with no. Identify pain points with AI. Did I spell that wrong? Is pain points 2 words? Huh. Okay. Now, thinking, what do I do? I think I'll aggregate these all together, maybe. Or can I feed this all into AI? Let's go ChatGPT. Make a completion. Create a completion. Model. I'll just do 4.0. Takes a second to load. Messages. I'll do a developer system and say you are a helpful, intelligent, problem finding assistant that analyzes my industry, that analyzes YouTube comments and identifies opportunities to create videos based on what the people are saying in my niche and competitors' YouTube channels. Let's just say that, even though I'm pretty small. You are a helpful, intelligent, problem-finding assistant that analyzes YouTube comments and identifies opportunities to create videos based on what people are saying in my niche and competitors' YouTube channels. User. Okay. Text, image, no. User content. Your job is to analyze the following YouTube comments and identify opportunities to create videos around what the people are saying. Provide a detailed summary of the opportunities you find and extract. I want you to use this JSON format. Idea 1. Idea 1. Idea 2. Pretty sure there's a space there actually. Or maybe like that. Idea 1, idea 2. Then maybe idea 3. Add as many ideas as you want. Just use the JSON format above. Just use the JSON format above. Might add another message, user. Here are the comments. And then I'll provide the comments. I don't think I can provide just an array. And I don't really want to provide all of that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink this, and then I'm going to add a set variable. I'm going to set it comments, and then let's go body comment. And that only does one, it doesn't do 14, so then I'm going to add an iterator. The array is going to be the body, the entire body, and then we're going to set these individually, and then aggregate them back together. So let's do this, around 14 times. I'm thinking, is there any other data that I want? Maybe likes could be good. Username, date 3 days ago could be good. I think maybe I do set multiple variables instead of a standard set variable. So I might instead go multiple, and then there's 3 there. YT comment. Let's add the comment text. YT likes. Add the likes. And YT date 4 days ago. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Oh, let's run this again. Runs 14 times. Within each operation, we have these 3 fields. Set YouTube information. Now let's feed this into an iterator first, aggregator. And I think I'll just do a text aggregator. Make the source module the iterator. The text is going to be this, this, and this, and I'm gonna make it like a list. I might say 1, 2, 3, and row separator is going to be a new row. And I think that's okay. Let's see what this outputs. Let's go here, the text. We've got the 1, 2, 3. 3 days ago. Okay, I think I want to label these and say YT comment, and then YT likes. And I also might name it full so it doesn't confuse ChatGPT. YouTube comment date posted. There we go. Now let's run this. Just look at the text. I mean, this is okay. I think I would like to do more formatting with it to make there be, like, under each one of these, just a blank line instead of it being straight after. Let's see. You cannot do that. Unfortunately. Let's see what tab looks like. I do not see a difference. I'm just going to do new row. Doesn't matter too much. Right. Now we're going to feed this into AI. Okay, here are the comments. Feed in that text, plus some additional information. Okay. Match completion tokens. I'm going to set that to 1000 for me. Okay, let's see what it does. We could also use like something like GPT-4o research, where you also research around the topic a bit. That could be interesting to do. So it can like search the web and stuff. Okay. Oh, got a good amount of ideas. Yes, this is good. And I think I would also actually want it to provide the YouTube comments that it got this idea from. So then I can go and look at it. I think that could be useful. So that's what I'm going to do. And also the channel. That could be good. So I'm going to say YouTube comment your URL. Dun dun dun. And then I'm going to say YouTube channel URL. Although now I think of it, if you have the YouTube comment URL, the YouTube channel URL, I don't think matters too much. But anyway, now what we need to do is, I think I'll just feed it directly in. So I'll add another set variable. I'll add 2. I'll say YouTube comment URL. Oh, URL. YouTube comment URL and YouTube channel. YouTube. Okay. Let's go. Where's the comment URL? So I guess it's this one. We got the channel here. Where is the comment? Is there a comment in here? I want to see. URL? Does it take you directly to the comment? No, it doesn't. Video ID, user channel name, user ID input. What does this do?
So I've spent many years selling automations and systems.
User ID, username, comment ID. How can you use this comment ID in this URL? Where is a comment ID in the YouTube URL? We could also see for ourselves. Like if we click on a comment, where does the ID?
Hey, this is going to be.
Let me post a new one. AI advice for another. Okay, let's see. Can I like click on this? Or can I copy the URL? Can I reply? What if I do this? That just takes me there.
Hey, this is going to be the daily updates video that ends all other daily updates videos. What I'm going to do over.
Okay, let's see. Embed within the URL your specific shared. Okay, you know what? Where can I put this comment URL? Somewhere in the video URL. So there's the comment URL. Let's get the video URL. The comment ID, sorry. Comment ID. However, you can directly link to a comment by using a specific URL format. So your link would be this.
So I've spent many years selling automations and systems to businesses. I've made basically every mistake possible.
This.
So I've spent.
Can it take me to the comment? I've actually never tried to do this before. Yes, using the URL.
So I've spent many.
Okay, it doesn't look like we can do that. So what I might do is I might just provide the comment itself instead. So I'll provide the channel URL, and then I'll also provide the comment itself. So I want to put that in here, YouTube comment 1. I might say source YouTube comment 1. Now I might put it 2 here because I'm going to explain to ChatGPT in a second what I want it to do. Say add as many ideas as you want, and for each idea refer to as many YouTube comments as you want when you created that idea. Also, for any given idea, provide, no, not for any idea. Also, only provide one YouTube channel. No, actually, no. For any given idea, provide the YouTube URL. So I want to do it for each idea because when it's in the Google Sheet, if you have like many different ideas, I think it'll be helpful to have a YouTube URL there for each idea. So let's run this, see what happens. Let's look at the output. So after this, we're going to be passing the JSON to make it look all nice and for us to be able to map. So you can see here we have idea 1, 2, 3. Where are the sources? YouTube comment 2. Okay, I need to adjust this. I'm also going to make this look better for you guys so you can see it. So I'll say pass JSON. And JSON string is going to be the result from ChatGPT. That's all I'm going to do there. But before I do that, I need to adjust this a little bit. I want to make it instead be like this. Idea 2. YouTube comment 1. Where did this go? Here. And then this is 2. Wait a minute, I've confused myself. So idea 1, and then I want it to provide a YouTube comment. And then idea 2, and I want it to provide a YouTube comment. And I'll just say idea 3 here. And then idea 2, idea 3. And then here I will provide 3. I think that's okay. Let's see what happens here. Let's run this. Again, this is a time when I'd love to be able to pin the data that ChatGPT outputs, so I don't have to use up all my tokens. Okay, let's look at this. So we have idea 1, we have source. With idea 2, we have source. Idea 3 and a source. Idea 4, source. idea 5, source. Okay, this is cool. Let me expand this for you. So what we're looking at, there's a whole bunch of different ideas that we can map into Google Sheets. So I think for this also, we're going to be making an HTTP request to Google Sheets. So we're basically going to be formatting this all nicely and then put it into a Google Sheet. And we're going to put it into this Google Sheet. I'm going to create a new sheet, and it's going to be YouTube video ideas sheet. And then it's going to be idea, comment, source, YouTube channel. And then, oh, I don't like that. Let's make this normal. There we go. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go and I'm going to import one of my other blueprints to see how I did this. I know I added an HTTP request. So we're going to be doing this, make a request. But I'm going to go to that other blueprint and import it to see exactly what I did there. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that took a bit longer than expected, but I've got it now and I've got it all working. So basically, I grabbed these two modules from this other build that I created when I connected the Bright Data MCP. And I took these two nodes here for the Google Sheets, and then I have to change a few things, but basically what we have to do, it's a bit more complicated, but then you can also add as many rows as you want with just one operation, which is also good. Saves operations in make.com. But basically what you have to do is you have to exchange a refresh token for an access token. So for that, you have to get a client ID, refresh token, and client secrets. So you have to get these different things. Refresh token being the important one. And then you have to use this URL, so you have access to all of this. Basically, the way you get a client ID, I'll show you guys very quickly. But if you want to get the full breakdown on how you can get it, then head over to the MCP Bright Data one that I broke down for you guys. But basically, to give you a high-level overview, you come to Google Cloud Console, create a project, go to APIs and services, then you'll enable APIs and services, and then you'll basically search in Sheets, and then you'll click on Google Sheets API, you'll enable it. For me, I've already enabled it, so I click Manage. You'll be redirected back to here, then you have to create an OAuth consent screen. I know I'm going through this quickly, so just bear with me. And then for you, you'll have to say like start consent screen or something like that, and then it'll take you through some steps that you have to go through. These are super simple steps. You just basically have to, what do you have to do? Provide your email, provide a name to this app. Make your application internal, not external. Make it external if you want people outside of your organization to be able to use your application. But for me, I only want people with my domain, with my savvyflow.com domain. So I made it an internal application. Here, this is kind of what you'll be looking at. Also make authorized domains, make them integromat and make.com. And then, yeah, anything else? See, I've made it internal there. And then the last thing is about creating, is it here? Yeah, creating a client ID. So basically what you do is you create a web client. So if I can create a client, you go like application type, web application, name it, authorized redirect URIs. I'll provide you with this. I forgot what it was, but I can see in here. This is the authorized redirect URI that I got. And then once I created this, I copied the client ID here and the client secret down here. And then basically I went to developers.google.com and then I used this URL to authorize an API, but before I clicked authorize API, I went over to the settings bar on the top right here, and then I pasted in here the client ID and the client secret. So that is this and the client secret that you get down here. I cannot currently see it because they disappear once you've used it once, but basically you put them in there, you click close, you click authorize API, then you have to sign in with your Google account, and once you've signed in with your Google account, you get sent to step 2. I'll actually just do this because why not? You get sent to step 2 where you get an authorization code, and then you have to click exchange authorization code for tokens. And then now I probably have to update my refresh token, because then you copy your refresh token, paste it into this header here, refresh token, and then yeah, then once you do that, basically you exchange your refresh token for an access token. So a refresh token and access token are the important things. You need a refresh token to generate a new access token. An access token is what allows us to make requests to the Google Sheet API. So basically add rows, perform actions within Google Sheets from make.com. So we need this access token to do those things, and access tokens are only valid for around 1 hour. So that's why you need a refresh token to regenerate it. And for us, we're going to be regenerating it each time this flow goes. And once we regenerate the access token, we're going to use that access token here in the authorization parameter, or it's not parameter, header, and do bearer and map the access token from here. And then in raw, this is where the JSON string is for adding the rows into the Google Sheet, and I'll show you that in a second. And basically we have this request URL where here is the sheet ID, and here is the sheet name, And basically where you get the sheet ID is if you come over to Google Sheets in the URL here, everything after the d/ and before the next / is the Google Sheet ID. So you can copy that, paste it directly into this URL, and the sheet name here is simply this sheet name down here. You can copy that and paste it in there. And then this stuff here, these are just some additional parameters. I got this directly from here. You would also be able to find it in the Google Sheets documentation. And then down here, we are adding some JSON. So you might have seen we passed JSON, but this didn't work before. I couldn't just pass this JSON directly into the Google Sheets API. And the way the Google Sheets API is formatted looks a little like this. So you would have like a square bracket, and then I believe you would have like a quote, and there'll be like Seb, and you might have another quote, Bob, and Barambus. And so basically what this would do is everything between this quote, so that would be one column, this would be the second column, and this would be the third column. So this JSON string here would be inserted like this. So it'll be Seb, Bob, Barambus, however I spelled it. So having it formatted this way, it would put these values, into different cells like this, which with each thing in between the quotes representing a column. So column 1, column 2, column 3. And then of course you would have some JSON around it to make it wouldn't just be this, it would look like this. Format to JSON. It would look like that. And then these representing those columns again. So I had to make a way for the JSON to look like that, and the JSON didn't look like that when I directly pasted in this past JSON. So then I kept this, and then I chose a transform to JSON module. So you find that by going here and just these JSON. You can also search in JSON, and then down the bottom is transform to JSON. Transform any object to JSON. So you can see what I passed in. What did I pass in here? I passed in the entire parse.json bundle into this node, and then basically what it does is it outputs it in valid JSON that we can use. So of course this is a bit messy, but if we go here, we could probably do JSON formatter.org. And then if we go here, format beautify, we can see here. So basically, it's the same thing as before. We have the values, and then this is one row. Everything from the first to this square bracket is a row. Then this is a new row, right? And then this is column 1, and then there's a comma, column 2, comma, column 3. And then here we have a comma and another open square bracket, so this is a new row. Then we have column 1, comma, column 2, comma, column 3, and then that row ends with the square bracket. So this might be a little confusing, but just bear with me. And this is what works. This is just how the Google Sheets API requires it. And we did have to add a little bit of complexity by using HTTP requests, but once you know how to use HTTP requests, you can connect to virtually anything on the internet, so that's a super powerful tool. You can connect to any API. It really is quite amazing. And if you want to see how I did get these refresh tokens and more in depth, then be sure to see the video going over the Right Data MCP. I might leave it somewhere in the description maybe. Yes. So now we can add these. I'm also going to remove this limit because I added a limit when I was testing, so I didn't waste away my OpenAI credits. So now I'm going to run this, and we should see, after I'm going to delete this, some new ideas come into this sheet. There we go. Are they all the ideas we had? We can also confirm, coming in here into the result, how many ideas? How many ideas? It doesn't say idea 1. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That's good. I also adjusted the JSON within the prompts. You might see it looks a little bit different. I've adjusted the JSON that I want ChatGPT to output just very slightly. So now it looks like this. Ooh. It looks like this instead. This one here. And then I've also been very clear. I added some rules saying, under any circumstances, only return the JSON and no comments or anything else. Only JSON, because sometimes it started adding some JSON. JSON started adding some comments around the JSON that it outputted, and then with those comments, because of those comments, this would error out. Because then if ChatGPT adds comments, then that text is no longer valid JSON. So these don't work. I'm not sure if we'd need to pass JSON anymore, but hey, if it works, we leave it alone. But this is good, this is good. So we have ideas with sources into the YouTube channel. I also thought it could be good to add the YouTube video. I'll add it here. YouTube video. I think it'll be good to add that so then we can actually look at the video itself. And that could also possibly open up some opportunities where we could scrape the video itself by taking these links. So what I'm going to do, I think, set multiple variables down. I'll add it here, YouTube video URL. Hopefully it's in here somewhere. So this one? I'm going to double check it's this one. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Let's aggregate that here. 5 YouTube video URL. right there. I did rename this, and this hasn't updated, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to run this, and then update this. Can I turn this off? Sometimes Grammarly just gets in the way. Yes, for this session. Comments. Where is this? Huh. YouTube video URL. Okay, so I think that's not correct. So I'm going to refresh here. Refresh to see if I can see the YouTube video URL now. Can I see it? There we go. Then I need to adjust this JSON to include a YouTube video URL. And to do this, because I don't want to do it myself, I'm going to say, can you adjust this JSON to also include a YouTube video URL? Here we go. We're going to simply copy and paste this, because I do not want to write all of that. That takes too long for us. No coders. We're going to leverage AI. Okay, let's do this now. I'm going to delete this. Operation is not valid JSON, so let's see. It has added this. It's added these quotes. That's the issue. So we have to put this in the prompt. Let's put this in the prompt. Do not add at the start and at the end of your JSON string. I'm also going to say down here, remember, only output the JSON. No comments. Let's see if it works now. Just really want to drill down on this so it doesn't add anything we don't want it to add. There we go. There we go. And here is the channel, and here is the video. Here is our YouTube comment source. And I think this is just about everything I would ever want. Yeah. Let's look at these ideas for a second. So now I'm scraping next to Ravs, I believe. Oh no, these are the users' YouTube channels. Wait a minute. This is the wrong, because I was scraping next to Rav, another automation guy. Much, much bigger than me. But these are the users, like the people who commented. I want to get the channel owner. So let's see if I can get the channel owner. Huh. Hopefully I can get the channel owner. I mean, I don't think it would be the end of the world because if you're getting a link to the video itself, I don't think it matters too much. Because then you can just click on the video and see the channel. So maybe I remove it for now, because these seem to be all the usernames of the people commenting. Hmm. Yeah, I guess we just add the YouTube video. instead of the channel URL, so we're going to do that. Maybe that's something you could add later, but we're going to remove that for now. So, you know what I'm going to do? Come back here, copy the JSON, paste it in here. Can you remove YouTube channel URL? Why are we doing this? Because it's easier and it's faster. And because we can do this, in my mind, there is no point on doing it ourselves. Okay. Now, in here, we're going to remove the YouTube channel URL. Make this 4. Remove this. And run this again. Now, hopefully, everything's updated. Hopefully, this is valid. Yes. There we get another 10. We get the source. And what I actually want to do is look at some of these ideas. Create a beginner-friendly guide on how to start an automation agency on a budget for recent graduates and early career developers with low startup capital. And the source, this is the exact comments. Hey Nick, love your videos, man. My friend and I have been thinking of getting into this AI automation landscape, but this thing stopping us is the cost. Provide a step-by-step video explaining how to structure and present videos, present previous videos for clarity, and improve visual audio delivery. Create a video demystifying profitable AI automation. If AI automation is so profitable, why sell a course? Create behind the scenes videos showing transparency of your AI business. Create quick tutorial for those starting their agency. Produce a community appreciation video. Create a beginning friendly roadmap. So these are pretty good. Seems like many people are looking for low cost ways of doing everything. Looking how to scale their agency. And of course, this, when you scrape like far more videos than just 2, you can get so many more ideas, so much more ideas, and you can really dig out gold from these YouTube channels, and you can add again as many channels as you want. Oops, just drops my pen. You can add as many channels as you want. All of your target audience, all of your competitors, you can add into this automation, right? And if we go here, all you'd need to do is add them into here. And if you wanted to add more, you would just say, you could literally just do this. Let's go here. This is all you would have to do. This is all I'd do. Can you add 3 more sections to this, duplicating the one that is already there? This is all I'll do. I'll go there. However long this is, I'll copy that. I'll paste it in here. And then if you didn't use any of these, except we're going to use start and end date now I think of it. But basically what I'll do is I'll then just replace these URLs with different channels. All of your target channels I would replace with these. And then you would only really have to do this once. You might add some more here and there if new competitors arise or you find new people who you want to scrape their comments to get video ideas from. So you really only have to do this once and add all of the channels that you want to scrape, the number of posts, and then the start and end date I'm going to add now because I almost forgot about that. But yeah, so this is what I'll do. I would just plonk it into ChatGPT, say, hey, can you add X amount more of these sections here, and then it'll output the JSON for you. Copy and paste it in here, and then add as many channels as you want, and you only have to do that once, and for however often you want to add more channels, and then we can schedule this to run once a week, scraping the videos. So the start date and the end date, let's format that to be now. So we're going to do, what was it? It was, I'm pretty sure it was day, month, or no, it was year, something something. I'm just thinking how they formatted the date. So we have to format date now. How did they format the date? I might have to go back here. Let's go back into Bright Data and see how they formatted the date. Web scrapers, web scraper library, youtube.com. Click on this. Now, video post discovered by URL. This was the one. Next, close that API request builder. End date. It's month, day, year. It's month, day, year. First one here. So it's month, day, and then it's year. So month, day, year. Okay, and then the start date is 7 days before this. So we could do, maybe could we just copy this? Paste this here now. Now, can you do like -7 or something? -7. Add seconds, add month, set day, set date. I actually forgot how to do this. It's been too long. How can I take this date and -7 days? So if today is Monday, I would want it to calculate the day for last Tuesday. Make.com. I kind of don't like doing this. I prefer to do it myself. But I really did forget how to do this. It's been too long. And I also want to keep this shorter. There we go. So that should work. And order by latest time period. Country doesn't really matter to me, so I could probably remove that. I'll keep it there in case you guys want it, because I'll provide the blueprint. Transcription language, I'll also keep there. For me, if I use this, I'll delete all 3 of those, because for my specific use case, I don't really need that. Number of posts, I'll probably just max it out to however many it is, because I could say 100, but for the last 7 days, it would only extract the posts that they've made for the last 7 days, because of this end date and the start date. So yeah, I'll just max this out. Maybe someone posts 100 times in a week. I'm not sure. But yeah. So after this, what I'll do is I would add all of the channels that I want to scrape by feeding this entire JSON string into ChatGPT, asking it, hey, can you add, say, 10 more of these sections, and just duplicate the one that's already here, and then I'll just simply replace the URLs or the channel URLs, the YouTube channels that I'm scraping, right here. I'll just replace those. And then it will go ahead, it would scrape those. It would add the snapshot ID into a data store, like we've done there. I can also delete this now. So this is step 1. Would also do this days of the week. I'd schedule it for Monday at maybe. Will we schedule Monday at 12 a.m.? Or like, no, not 12 a.m. because it will take some time to run. Will we send it at like 11 at night on Monday, or we send it at like 12, like 1 a.m. in the morning on Monday? What would make sense? I think it'll be 12 at night, right? Because if we're running it on Monday night and then we're fetching back to Tuesday, yeah. So I'd say like 11 p.m. probably, maybe even 10 p.m. because it depends how much data you're going to be scraping. So I might do 10:30. So it's going to run every time. Can I just, yeah, 10:30. Anything else? No, that's okay. So I want it to run on Monday at 10:30. I'm not going to start it yet. Then this, I would probably also say days of the week. I'd run this at Monday. When did that run? 10:30. So I'd run it at. I'll probably start it at like 10 a.m. Can I say 2? Like 10 a.m. 2. Fill in if you want the scenario to run from a specific date. Maybe not this. Is there anything else? Specific dates, on demand, once, every day, at regular intervals? Maybe I run it like a few times around here, so then. Oh, but you can't. Oh, that's a little bit annoying. Maybe. Because I don't really want to run it at regular intervals because then you're just wasting operations. Specific dates. That doesn't really work. Maybe because it's the scraper, like in reality, the scraper cannot really take much longer than, say, a couple hours, really. I'm just thinking how much data is going to be pushed through here. So I was thinking if we go days of the week and then you went Monday and then you ran it instead Tuesday, or you ran it Monday at like 12 p.m. Oh, I always get confused. Let's do 11:59. 50, okay, 55. We'll run it there. Oh, I hate how you can't do 2 times. That's actually annoying. Maybe I run it Monday. Instead, I run it Tuesday at like 3:30 a.m. Because that should give enough time for it to scrape. That gives it what? It starts at 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. Yeah, it gives it 5 hours to finish scraping. And then we filter through here. So that should be plenty of time. And then it'll get all of the snapshot IDs and then run through this. And also, now I think of it, to avoid rate limits, I think what could be good, because here, how could we avoid rate limits? I'm thinking if there's a whole bunch of data going through here, we wouldn't want it to run all at once. The iterator module. It's got 2 bundles. Because the data store would pick up 2 of these. You could set up like a filter where you take it down different paths. If the bundle order position is equal to something like something like 10 or 5. Although that gets a bit. Does it? I'm just thinking the best way to do this. Record snapshot ID. So these are 2 different videos, or it could be multiple different. Or are these 2 different videos? Yeah, these are 2 different videos. No, they're not. No, they can't. Okay, so there's 2 there because there must be 2. I must have accidentally put 2 in the data store. So each channel outputs 1 snapshot ID. Ignore this one. This is a duplicate. Each channel outputs 1 snapshot ID with multiple videos, but likely there would only be, what, maybe 3 videos max. I don't know many people who upload more than 3 times a week. Of course, there's some people, but I feel like on average it will be probably 2 to 3 videos per channel if they upload regularly. Uh, and then say you're doing 10, say you have 10 channels watching, that's an average of 30 videos with all the comments. I'm on the wrong one. 30 videos with all the comments. Let's look in here. Here it is. The one. And 30 videos will be into rate limits. You know what? I might just do it. I don't really want to take this approach. I really don't want to do this. But I feel like I should. Because I don't really like duplicating flows like this. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably make more than, I'll probably make 3. I'm going to show you what I'm doing in a second. It's super simple. This is also partly why I'd love make.com to have a looping functionality. Like in A10, you know how you can loop back to nodes. Like there's no way you can loop this back to this module, unfortunately. Let's add its router here. And then what I'm going to do is within these filters, I'm going to say down. Where would I do this actually? I was thinking bundle order position. If you have 10 channels, each channel averaging 3. So we just divide 10 by 3. Let's do 3, 4. You can't do 3.5, so maybe we just do 4. So bundle order position is equal to is less than or equal to 4. So this will take 4 channels. Then this one will do bundle order position is greater than 4, and bundle order position is less than 8. And then here I'm going to do bundle order position is greater than or equal to 8. Oh, and less than or equal to, no, I'll just do greater than 8. Even here, actually, I might do is less than or equal to 8. Then here I'll do is greater than or equal to 9. So then this bottom path will just choose the rest. And what is this? What is this one referring to? It's referring to this one. This is referring to that. What number is it? It's instead, it is, what number is it? 23. This should work. No, I'm looking at this number here. It says it's black. I think it's okay. And then I just need to replace this to, what number is it? 31. I think once you run it, it should be okay. If not, you'll just have to map whatever this value is into here. And then basically what I'm going to do on these ones is at the start, I'm going to add a module, and I'm going to add sleep to delay it. I'm going to probably sleep it for, I'll be pretty conservative, I'd say 250 seconds. So it's around 4 minutes-ish. It's around, what was that, 4 minutes? It's just over 4 minutes. Or just under. Just over. Just over 4 minutes. So I'll say 250 here. So I'm doing this to try avoid rate limits with Google Sheets. And I'm thinking you could end up scraping quite a fair amount of data, so it could be better to do something like this. I don't really like the look of it, but I guess it will have to do. Yeah, I do not like that. It's auto align. Yeah, okay, anyway. Anyway, I tried to do this to lower the chances of entering rate limits. So we're kind of process chunk 1, I guess. And let's copy that. Let's do process chunk 2. Depending on how much data you're pushing through, you might have to add more of these, but I think really it should be okay. Like, we're not pushing through a bunch of data and we're just making one request to Google Sheets, so we're using the bulk update Google Sheets, so that shouldn't be an issue. The only issue I was thinking more likely would be within the OpenAI node, if we're feeding quite a lot of data into there, especially if each video has like hundreds of comments. That can end up being a lot of data for OpenAI to process. So I think by splitting this up in this way could definitely be beneficial. And did we do this? This one. So when does this one run? This one runs on Tuesday at 3:30. And what does this do? It scrapes the videos. So if this runs at 3:30, maybe to be conservative again, we run this on Tuesday at 5 a.m. That gives it 1.5 hours to scrape all of that data. If this starts at 3:30 a.m. And there you have it. What is this one? This can go. That would have been for me testing. Okay, I think everything's good. This is it. Adding the ideas into a Google Sheet, scraping whatever channels you would like using Bright Data and make.com. So it's pretty cool. This is something I might use for myself. Probably will use for myself actually. And yeah, we had to get through a lot of stuff. We had to debug a little bit together and had to really get through things and figure out how to use things. I'm relatively new to Bright Data, so I'm having to figure out Bright Data myself. I know there is something I can actually show you guys now in the Bright Data API. This is the API endpoint I did for this trigger here, the trigger collection endpoint. Because down here, what we have is a notify, where you can notify a webhook. So you set notify to true, and then endpoint is webhook. You can also do the format, and you can do these for most endpoints. So I was thinking, oh, I could add a webhook to the start of this flow, and then a webhook to the start of this flow, so then it'll be more synchronized instead of having these timers. But then the issue I had with that is the webhook wasn't being triggered. I tried testing with other applications, other webhook applications where you can get a dummy webhook and then see what's happening with the webhook. If we go to logs, I'm not sure if it's this one. Yeah, you can see here webhook, but then I never got sent a webhook, like any data or a notification. So yeah, I wasn't sure what was wrong with that, and I spent a good amount of time, like a good few hours, on trying to figure out how to do that. I'm probably still going to look in how to do that because I think that'd be extremely powerful. But for today, the schedules, I think they're okay. They're going to do the job. It might take, 6 hours to do the whole process, but that whole process is done between 10:30 p.m. and 5 a.m. So majority of it's done when most people are asleep. So that's good. And then if you wanted to, you can look and see if it works for you. Adding this notify to equal true and endpoints to just be your webhook. I'm going to definitely be trying it again because I think if I can crack how to do that, I'm not sure why it didn't work. It should have worked, I think, but it didn't. So yeah, that's something I'll definitely look into. And yeah, it's quite amazing what you can do with these tools. It really is. We need to figure out how to do everything and figure out what Bright Data was up to and how to use that. So yeah, now we have a full YouTube comments scraper using 2 different scrapers, scraping the YouTube channels of your choice and the comments to the channels, and using AI to figure out how to come up with ideas and find pain points and video ideas that people are looking for. You can imagine how if you're scraping hundreds and hundreds of comments, then you could start developing some pretty cool ideas to not run out of ideas for content. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one.